This is a northern land, the island of Hoy, western bastion of Scapa Flow. This is the story of an invasion, an apparently simple invasion requiring only one tank landing craft. On board is £200,000 worth of television equipment, a complete outside broadcast unit en route from the Clyde to the Orkney Islands. 500 miles through the Western Isles, north around Cape Wrath to the island of Hoy, the western windbreak for Scapa Flow. Early in the morning, with a strong tide and a crosswind, the tank landing craft eases her way into Scapa Flow.
Full astern, starboard.
Full astern, starboard.
(254). Stop engine.
One mobile control room, alone worth £100,000. One pantechnicon to carry the cables. One radio links van to bounce the pictures back to the mainland. And assorted other vehicles, heading for the most outlandish outside broadcast spot ever imagined. The television unit's job is to make a program, to bring to 10 million viewers live pictures of the climbers' assault on the Old Man of Hoy, the most spectacular rock pinnacle in the British Isles. Two miles from the Old Man, a platoon of the Scots Guards sets up base camp.
Rock.
Another one inches here. No good, there's stones all around us.
Let's go back into that ditch.
Accustomed to the jungles of Malaya and Borneo, this is for them an exercise in living in the remote parts of their own land. This is the route for the television equipment. 2 miles of Orcadian bog and a mountainside to cross. This porridge cannot possibly support the weight of a mobile control room, so every piece of equipment has to be de-rigged and manhandled onto the sledges.
Some more padding here.
And when the slope becomes too steep for the tractors, the sledges are hauled up by wire. 30 tons of equipment in half-ton loads, 60 loads in all. On the high plateau, the top of the Old Man peeps over the sea cliffs, the highest in the British Isles. In this vast expanse of unpopulated country, the advanced base on top of the cliffs looking out to the Old Man is no more than a dot on the moorland. The first job for the climbers is to make the cliff down to the boulder beach at the foot of the Old Man safe, and to inspect the rock on the Old Man himself. Every inch of the cliff must be roped by the support
Just walk up
climbers.
from there, so then see if it feels right. I can make this shorter, you see. Yeah, a bit tighter.
The Sherpas, as they are called, are led by the vicar of Peterhead, Sidney Wilkinson, the climbing parson.
Okay, there you go.
The telemen stay in Stromness, a fishing port on the Orkney mainland, and they go to work every morning in Ginger Brown's taxi service across Scarpa Flow. Inside a tent on top of the cliffs, they put the monitors and the scanners together, building a complete control system, a makeshift television centre.
Nobody at all. Well, isn't John McCall coming up? Yeah.
We use channel 5 as a capture scanner. Where's that going to come out?
Bring an extra monitor for you, up on top of engineering figure.
And then the Ikigami comes in as 6. No, we can't have 6 synchronous.
No.
So Ikigami comes in as 7.
7. And then
You put up there on the top.
put it up there on
Yeah.
these two.
Yeah.
7. And then the 2 radio cameras.
Well, say we put the 2 radio cameras
Well,
together, side by
right,
side, and put the Iki separate. Because the Iki, you know, if anything goes, it'll be the Iki.
Okay, can do.
And that
Put the Icky up there.
Yeah, yeah.
And radio check
Radio,
beside it.
yeah, fine.
And still the loads come up. Across the bog, up the mountain, over the plateau, 3 loads a day for day after day.
Fine. Yeah. Incidentally, I think we'll probably only use that once, with any luck, because we can only afford the time to get Chris down to the beach once. Otherwise, he'll never be able to get his out of vision position. Yeah. My God, this flapping's going to be a problem, isn't it?
More of a problem is the commentary.
Yes, yeah. Well, on an open mic, if he's in vision, we're going to get the flapping from his tent, and we won't hear that because we'll be listening to the flapping in our tent.
Now the camera platforms and lights must be lowered over these cliffs. An operation supervised by Hamish McInnes, the Glencoe Mountain Rescue Chief.
Tight over your way, will you? Right, fine. Fine. Just pull it over tight, will you? Okay, in slowly. Slowly. Okay, just hold it there now. Just slowly for a bit, Ian. Slowly. But let your rope go a little bit. Okay, Ian. Right. Okay, let it go. Let it go. Okay, keep going. Slowly now. Slowly. Another 5, 6 feet.
But the television cameras, whose innards are as delicate as a Dowager Duchess's, have to be masked in foam rubber.
Okay, and tighten up. Just swing it slowly now, carefully. Yep. Carefully. Okay, just ease it off. Ease it off. Now, how have you got these slings underneath? They're not going to slide along, are they?
No.
That's all right. Let's do the small handles.
Yes.
Right. Let's go. All right, just let him ease him over. Slacken off in slightly. That's it, hanging now. Right, let it go. Not too far. Okay, John. Let it go.
About 10 feet to go.
10 feet to go again.
And when they switched on, the cameras worked. But next morning, this was the scene. A westerly gale blowing in from one of those Icelandic depressions has ripped down 2 marquees, shredded a third. Somewhere here, there is £100,000 worth of delicate electronic equipment.
But that would mean taking the lot out short and then rebuilding it.
Exactly, yeah. That's the only answer, otherwise. And then we'll put that one up in it. And then you could possibly, if we could tighten this, use this as the nest tent. If you could get leads from this equipment.
Oh yes, we can do that, of course.
The threads go the different way, you know.
The left-hand threads.
Because we've got trouble with the sound lines, you may or may not know. We've got equalizers being flown from Aberdeen. Yeah, which we hope to come on the plane today. No, you can't for equalizers here. No, well they can't do it. It's impossible. Because the post office don't have pre-equalizers, and our pre-equalizers wouldn't suit.
This pub there was a tree, a rare tree, a rattling tree.
Untangle the cables, pull out the plugs, move it all to another site, and still meet tomorrow's deadline.
Rare bog, and bog, down in the valley, oh. It was a branch, a rare branch, a rattling branch. Tree and the bob down in the valley, oh. Pentland bog about down in the valley, oh, rare bog, Pentland bog about down in the valley, oh. And on this branch there was a twig, a twig, twig in a branch, and a branch in a tree, and a tree in the bog, and a bog down in the, ho ho. About down in the valley, oh, rare bog, Pentland bog, about down in the valley, oh. And the faster you sing, the faster you work.
The climbers must train. Target for today is this mini pinnacle, only just over 100 feet high, and there is only one way to it. The Reverend Sidney Wilkinson, the vicar of a parish in Peterhead, Aberdeenshire, a climber all his life, spent 8 years ministering to the Eskimos in Baffinland. Now he ministers to the prisoners in Peterhead jail. This is the master climber, Joe Brown.
Hey, well, don't let it go too fast. Oh, the boys march at dawn from the south to the north, led by Kelly, the boy from Kim. Hey, I'm just singing to keep me pecker up.
Joe Brown, the greatest rock climber in the world. Now at 36, he is better than he has ever been, and he has always been the best. Once in a generation, no more, you get such a man who breaks through the accepted barriers of his craft. This is the master at work, on rock which no man has touched, which he has never seen before.
No cracks. Hey? There's a bloody great rock here that I want to get rid of. But if I throw it down, it might hit the belay rope.
This is the view that Joe's climbing companions get. And Joe's most constant partner on a rope is Pete Crew. Let him take up the commentary.
Good, really. He's standing in the sling now. His foot is hooked up behind him, which means that all his weight is on the peg that he's got in. This means both hands are free for messing about and putting another peg in. In fact, I think he's chopping a short length of rope in two so he can make another sling. He used nearly all his equipment up and is chopping a bit off the rope. Once he gets into the crack, his foot is really well way behind him in a sling to stop him swinging backwards. As soon as he gets, he's coming back now. And as soon as he can get into the cracks in the corner, he's more or less cracked it. They're right in the corner now, into the cracks. And he's looking much more comfortable. He should be able to get some really good running belays in here. Yeah, he's got a hand jam with his right hand in the crack. This is Joe's favourite kind of climbing, so it should be no more difficulty for him now. Just looking around, trying to find another running belay.
Running belay for what?
Well, the idea is to fix the rope through, to attach the rope to the rock, so that if Joe falls off, it limits the distance that he can fall. And it also protects the second man. He's just in the traverse now, and if he hadn't got the running belay over to the right, and the rope running to the second man would be diagonal and no use to him at all. In fact, on this, the second man are going to need the rope more than Joe.
Why? Because he's not so good.
Well, I think the rock's very difficult, and yeah, it's obviously very, very hard climbing. Joe's looking a bit worried now. It's getting very steep, and the rock is getting worse the higher it gets. The next little bit is completely overhanging. It's bridging out. His hand's disappeared right into the crack, which means that the thing his hand is behind is a really big loose block. It's like really hard climbing. If the block is on now is safe, he's virtually done it. All he's got to do now is shift the loose block from the top and over there. He's now looking for some protection to protect the last 10 feet, which are all sloping ledges covered in grass. This is really nasty kind of climbing, particularly after 80 feet of this really difficult climbing. If you fall off now, it'd really go a horrible long way. He's not bothering, he's just continuing. You can see the rock is very loose here. Well, that's just about it now. The only problem is now is to get a good anchorage on the top to get off the thing. Probably have to lower the rope right down the other side and use the rope right over the pinnacle.
Joe's castle is only a mini pinnacle, a quarter of the size of the Old Man of Hoy. Tomorrow, it will be the old man's turn. A lonely old man who stands out here throughout the year, suffering the onslaughts of the North Atlantic gales which tear and rot the rock of which he is made. Tomorrow, he faces 6 of the most superlative climbers in the world. Men who dare to do what the rest of the world considers impossible.